welcome to the Keeping It Real podcast with Sulma, the swearing therapist. Hi, I'm Sulma Williams, a licensed clinical social worker who likes to keep it real and swears a lot. Today, I like to address the topic of grief. We are grieving. Grief, a lot of times, is associated with somebody dying. But in addition to that, um, we also grieve when we had to move or we lose our job or a relationship ends or you're going through a divorce or a separation. So I like to kind of like address some of these situations in what can we, how can we cope in and deal with this. So let's start with the most common thing associated with grief, which is the loss of a person. Someone you love has passed away. He or she died, and a lot of times we feel as if, oh my God, like this unfinished business. I didn't get to talk to this person and say goodbye, or I I was in a fight and then the person died and I will never going to be able to resolve that, or whatever it might be, or I haven't talked to this person and then I find out that that person is dead. So a lot of guilt is associated with that because it's like, oh my God, like if I, why didn't I call, or why didn't I say I love you, or whatever it might be that you are feeling guilty about. And the thing to remember is that none of us, nobody has tomorrow guaranteed. So if anything, we cannot go back and resolve the issue with that person. If I didn't say I love you enough, there is no turning back time. But what we can do in a situation like this is to learn from this situation and then apply the lessons to the people who are still in our lives. So let's say that um, someone, my mom died, in which she did. She passed away unexpectedly of a heart attack. And there were a lot of things, like nobody expected that she was not going to be here tomorrow, right? Like, so one of the things that I can do is that I cannot turn back time and tell my mom how much I love her, which is probably one of the things that I'm feeling guilty about. But what I can do is to learn that lesson and then tell the people who are around me, I love you. If I didn't spend enough time with my mom, I will spend more time. I'll be very um, present and spend time with the people around me. If I was on a fight and that didn't get resolved, I will try to resolve the arguments or the fights as they are happening. So it's kind of like, oh my God, like I cannot resolve the issue with my mom, but I can learn the lesson and apply it to my everyday life. So it's like, oh my God, like I didn't spend enough time. Okay, start spending more time. Carve that time in your schedule so that you don't have the same regrets that you have with this person if anyone else dies. We all gonna die. We just don't know when, right? Like, so it's kind of like, oh, uh, let's pretend we should, I don't remember who said this, but we should plan as we are gonna live forever, and we should live as if we're gonna die tomorrow. So it's like, okay, I feel guilty about not spending time with my mom. Well, I can be proactive and start planning to spend more time with the people who I love that are alive, if that makes sense. So it's like, I'm not fixing that issue, but I'm taking the lesson learned and applying it to my life. In a situation, like let's say that you are going through a divorce, or you are have separated from your significant other, you're not only grieving the current situation, like the divorce as it is happening, but you're also grieving all the plans that you have with this person, growing all together, going on trips when you retire, whatever it might be. So honor that. A lot of people are like, well, fucking get over it. And it's like, no, no, it's not that I miss the motherfucker. I'm also missing out on all the plans that I have with this motherfucker. So allow yourself to grieve. And again, for, kind of like focus on the lessons learned in this relationship and apply them to your, when you are in your next relationship. If you are grieving because you have to move unexpectedly, or like I was renting a house, and I was requested from my friends, and I was requested to move, and it was very, very traumatic because I was in that home for like, I think 6 7 years, and you know how much shit you whore in 6 years. Like, I was like, oh my god, like, so I was not only, I was traumatized by how the situation happened, but I was also grieving all the memories that I had in that home, and all the plans, all the celebrations I was planning in that home, and all those things. So it's like we have to allow ourselves to make space for those feelings. Oh, it's a fucking home. You're gonna get another one. Yeah, duh. But the thing is that I didn't expect this. And I think a lot of times when situations happen, like if you get fired, for example, right? Like, you were not expecting that. So that is what is so traumatizing, in addition to the situation itself. So like, the fucking job is a fucking piece of shit. You're working in hell, but at least you have an income, right? So being fired from that, which might end up being a blessing in disguise, but at the time that is happening, you're like, how the fuck I'm gonna pay the mortgage next month, or put food on the table for my children? So you are grieving the current situation, but also, again, the plans that you had for the future. So what can you do in that case? If you got fired, you got fired. Like, so it's like you develop a plan so you start applying everywhere, and you update your resume and start sending it everywhere, and like, like you actively start pursuing a job, but also at the same time, so anxiety is going to take over. Oh my god, we're going to lose the house, we're going to lose the kids, we're going to, right? Like, anxiety is catastrophizing, which is one of the cognitive distortions that we discussed in a prior episode. So like, I can listen to that episode too. But we're catastrophizing, right? And it's like, okay, do I have to move out right now? Let's say I got fired today, and then my anxiety is taking over. It's like, oh my god, like, I'm gonna lose the house, I'm gonna lose the kids because I cannot feed them. Like, well, okay, hold on. Do I have to move out of the house today? No. Okay. So, do I have food for the children today? Yes. Okay. So, like, let's take a step back. Let's come back to the present moment, and let's develop a plan. So what can I do about this situation right at this minute is to update my resume, go on Indeed or start asking people about, where can I get a job, and start submitting my resume, right? Like, remember, one of the best antidotes to anxiety is to take action. So when we are doing something, we're literally getting out of our heads and into the present moment. When I'm updating my resume, I'm fucking doing something. I'm in the present moment. I cannot be thinking about, oh my God, I'm going to lose my house and updating my resume. I can't. So those, because these situations come unexpectedly most of the time, it's like, fuck, like, um I wasn't prepared for this. But you always remember, you've been through a lot of shit in your life, and all that shit you've been through could not take you out. So this shit ain't gonna take you out either. You had lost a relationship before, you've been fired or changed jobs before, you moved before, somebody you love died before, and yet here you are. So and to be closing this, I want to remind you that, in a nutshell, grief is love that has nowhere to go. So if you didn't, like, let's say in the case of, in the example of a person who died, if you didn't give a shit about this person, you would not be grieving. Is that you have all this love and you're like, oh, what the fuck? Like, what do I do with this love? So remember that if you are grieving, it's because you love that person, or you were attached to that job or to that house. But you've been through situations before where you felt devastated and lonely and sad, and yet you overcame them. And this one is not going to be any different than those times. So embrace the feeling. Don't push it. Embrace it. You're feeling sad, of course, because you love this person. If this person was a fucking piece of shit, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But you love people in the past who might have moved away, or you lost contact with them, or and yet, or might have died, but you move forward from that situation, and you're going to move forward from this situation too. I hope you found this helpful. Please leave me a comment. Let me know if what do you think about it, and please hit the subscribe or follow button, and follow me on Instagram at the Swearing Therapist. I'll thank you, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.